How you guys doing today? This is Jason, back with Tuna Tech, and today we're going to talk tablets. So, tablets have been around for a while, and if you're an Apple user, your iPad is a very popular choice and a very good choice. They have pro versions and they have less pro versions for maybe the general consumer. On the Android side, you've got a pretty good number of choices. Not as many as with Android phones, but a handful. You've got Samsung, you've got Lenovo, you've got Amazon, so you got some. So today I'm going to talk about a tablet that was talked about during CES at the beginning of the year, and it's just now being released here in the US. It was originally starting at $1,200 for this tablet. They had a special knocking down, I think making it around $1,000 and then they had a coupon code, basically getting it around around $900 basically. Give or take, your mileage might vary, but your mileage may vary, I should say. So this is the Lenovo Tab Extreme with Extreme Keyboard and Precision Pen 3. So before we go any further, the first thing you need to know is this is a Lenovo tablet. It's extreme because it's very large. And by looking at the picture on the sleeve, you can see here's a tablet, the pen's down here, and the keyboard looks like the Magic Keyboard that Apple has introduced with their tablets. All included in one. So keep that in mind when you think of the price. You know, your iPads and your Samsung devices, maybe not so much Samsung devices, but a lot of other tablet companies charge anywhere from $150 to $300 for a keyboard, another $100 to $150 for a pen. So keep that in mind. So just looking at this, it's a Lenovo Tab Extreme. That's all we know so far. Same thing on this side, just some generic, branding. On the other side, you see USB symbol, OLED screen, cameras front and back, probably a chipset of some sound, the keyboard, the pen, and battery life. So they're promoting a lot of these things. On the back, you see a 14.5-inch OLED display, an octa-core processor, octa JBL speakers, a 12,300 milliamp hour battery. It's got two USB-C ports. It's got a 13 megapixel front camera and a rear 13 and 5. It supports Tab Extreme Keyboard, which it comes with, and supports Precision Pen 3. I don't know what the Precision 1 and 2 difference would be. It's powered by Android, MediaTek. It's got Dolby Vision Atmos. It's got Wi-Fi 6E and 6 support, HDR10 Plus. So a lot to soak in here. The big thing that I have reservations about is this right here. So we'll go into a little bit of what this thing involves before we open it. It's a MediaTek Dimensity 9000 octa-core processor with 12 gigabytes of RAM. So sounds good. The OnePlus Pad that was recently released has a Dimensity 9000 Plus. So from what I've read, the 9000 is kind of like the Snapdragon Gen 1, 8 Gen 1, and the Dimensity 9000 Plus is the Plus version, counterpart. So take it with a grain of salt. Most Samsung Tab S8s right now have the Gen 1 in it. The Tab 9 will probably have the Gen 2, so this might be a little bit slower, but this includes a lot of extras. So it's got a Mali G710 integrated GPU. We talked about the 12 gigabytes of RAM. It's LPDDR5X. It does have micro SD card support up to 1 terabyte, and it's got UFS 3.1 with 256 gigabytes of storage built in. It says right here, 12 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage. It's got the 12,300 milliamp hour battery. Expected to get 12 hours of online video playback and 6 hours of web browsing. It's a 3K, 14.5 inch 3K resolution. It's 3000 by 1876. It's got 400 nits of brightness up to 500. It's anti-fingerprint, maybe a matte kind of thing. Aspect ratio of 16 by 10. And it's 244 PPI if you really want to know that. It's 120 Hertz. HDR 10 Plus, Dolby Vision, and it's got Corning glass on the front. What else do we got here? It comes in one color, Storm Gray, and it's an aluminum body. And like I told you before, it's Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3. This doesn't have LTE or anything. This is the US version. I don't believe they offer a version in the US that will support LTE, so you'll have to have Wi-Fi for that. It's got a fingerprint reader integrated into the power button. It's got one USB-C 2.0 that supports data transfer, power delivery, and display port. And it's got USB-C 3.2 Gen 1. So it's got two, and it's got pogo pins, obviously, for the keyboard. And then, I mean, everything else kind of went over already. So I'm going to slide this off, this little sleeve here. And just as a side note, environmental-wise, this is all recycled, you know, cardboards and paper. So Lenovo recently, at least with the Chromebooks even too, they've been kind of touting that fact. So hopefully this is something exciting. I don't have a tablet currently, so maybe this is something that I'll hang on to. So right on the front here, you got one heck of a huge tablet. So we're gonna set that off to the side. We're gonna pull out some more cardboard here, and you can see what it looks like. If I can get it out here, another box here. This feels like the keyboard, so we're gonna peel this open, and that did not work. Okay, second time's always best, I guess, right? Get this out. This is the keyboard. We'll set this off to the side. You've got quick start guide, safety and warranty information, information on the keyboard, information on the pen. Looks like you got the tray ejection tool for the micro SD card slot and an extra pin, or sorry, head for the pen. So that's always nice to have when those do wear out. You got a USB Type-C to headphone jack dongle, so there's no headphone jack, but they give you the dongle in the box. You got your, we'll just go ahead and unwrap this right now. You got your Precision Pen 3, which from what I've read, magnetically sticks to the tablet and does charge. From what I understand, it sits on the back, similar to a Tab S8 to charge. And then if you use the keyboard, there's a spot underneath that it kind of sits and holds it all together. You've got a very nice USB to USB-C, USB Type-C. It looks like the charging cable, but it's really thick and heavy duty. Let's see, what else do we got in here? And we got what looks like, I can just slide this out probably, a power brick. And I'm not sure what the wattage of this, 68 watts it says right there. So 68 watts, not bad. Not super fast like we have today with a lot of these Chinese manufacturers, but still very nice to have. And I think that's about all we have in the box. Yeah, that's all the box contains, which the main stuff is already out. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and take apart this keyboard here. So interestingly enough, this keyboard is like a magic keyboard that Apple has introduced. And it looks like there's another little magnetic device in here. So let's see what this is. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not really sure what this is. I'll look in the manual. Maybe it's it opens. Yeah, I'm not really sure what this is. Yeah, so it looks like it might be an extra kickstand to go in the back. When you're not using the keyboard, you can still use it as a stand. The best thing to do is to open up a tablet itself, and then we'll go over the keyboard. So this thing is monstrous. So this isn't their first foray into a big tablet. They did have another one, but on the back here you have a little symbol here. I don't know if you can see that little like thing right there. I'm going to assume the pen sticks right there. That's how it charges. You got the pogo pins, which line up with the keyboard right there. So that's it there. And then, okay, so there you go. So basically, this is an extra stand that sits on the back magnetically. So you can kind of hold it up. It has all that. And then, if you're not using it, it stays there. And then you can still, if you can see the pogo pins are still exposed right there, you can still attach it like that. And then you can use the keyboard, and it does kind of float. So that is kind of nice. I'll try to put it to the side here so you can see that. So that's kind of interesting. So let's take the tablet off here and kind of like just look at what's on the keyboard. So, or the tablet itself. So you got a center mounted 13 megapixel, I don't want to say selfie camera, but a webcam. On the top, you got your volume buttons, and you got 4 microphones. On the back, you got your 13 and 5 megapixel cameras. You got your pogo pins, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4 vents for speakers, which according to the paperwork I have, it has 8 speakers. It actually has a woofer driver, so it should be pretty robust sound. And then on the side here, you've got the 2 USB ports, and on this side, you have your USB, micro USB, or micro SD card slot. So, without further ado though, let's see if I can see if it's got any juice. Power buttons right here, and that's also doubles as your fingerprint reader. I'll kind of try to angle it up, but it might be smarter just to kind of close this up and do it this way. So again, there it goes, it fired right up. So this is the Lenovo Tab Extreme unboxing. 14.5 inch screen, so it's very large, on par with the Tab S8 Ultra. Processor wise, probably very similar. RAM wise, very similar. This comes with a base of 256 storage, whereas the Tab S8 Ultra does come in at 128. Interestingly enough, I read somewhere that this can get up to Android 16 and 4 years of security updates. So it will be supported. And as you can see, if you look at that, how big that screen is. I don't have anything in comparison to show you next to it, but believe me when I say this is a large tablet. And then when you kind of stick this on this pen on the back, let's see if it starts to charge the pen, or it even notifies the pen's there. It doesn't pop up on the screen and say, but maybe it's because I'm not actually in yet. But before we do that, let's put this back on the keyboard here. So from what I've been told, it made a little noise, so I'm not sure that meant something. So what I'm told is with the keyboard here, that's as far back as it goes. The pen, which I have this little, let's take that little splier off. The pen itself can go underneath the screen, so it kind of tucks in here. Oh, it does. It attaches to the bottom, and then you can close it, and then it's covered. Now, one thing you do realize is that every side of this, every part of this is covered, except for the tops, the sides, and then the top where the camera array is. So, let me know what you guys think. Do you want me to do a quick review on this unit? Do you want me to, do you want to know more about it? It looks like a pretty promising tablet. I'm not sure why they waited so long and threw in a Dimensity 9000 instead of the Plus. But either way, this is the Tab Extreme from Lenovo. And it is available now from Lenovo and Best Buy, I believe. From Lenovo and Amazon. You could check it out there and let me know what you think. But thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.